Hi guys, my name is Fabio Palvelli and I'm back with a brand new video about the business side of design. Paul Krugman, the famous American Nobel Prize for Economics and a prolific author, university teacher, let's just say he's not an idiot, okay? He talks about two fundamental principles of economics that I think any artists and designers should understand. The first principle, he says, is that a $100 bill will not last long on the floor. In other words, people will respond to incentives, meaning that people will likely take any opportunities available. The second principle is that every transaction has two sides. For something to be sold, there must be somebody that has the money to buy it. For every export, there must be an import. For every dollar made, there is a dollar spent. And so, in other words, in economy, all things add up. These two principles together give you a very simple and direct understanding of how economy works. Let's now try and dissect both principles to understand how we can benefit from having this knowledge as creatives. What does it mean that people will respond to incentives? The reason why there are artists or designers willing to do work for cheap is not because the market is bad or because clients do not want to pay for the work that you do, but it is because there are people out there willing to do things for cheaper. Plain and simple. Let's leave aside the problem of the internet and the fact that we are connected with people from poorer countries and so the competition is unfair. That of course is a problem, it amplifies the issue. I'm not saying that it's not important, but I guarantee you that you would have the same exact problems even if the market was not globalized. And this is due to the fact that often what people understand as being a good deal, it is based on the personal perception of what value is. And so, for example, a broke student that needs money and that lives on a $15 a day budget in a city like London will of course accept to do a logo or a rendering of whatever for $100, say. But if that same student is not broke because he or she come from a rich family and they do not need the money, chances might be that that student will probably refuse to work for $100. When I first started to make architectural images almost 12 years ago, I had no idea what the right price for a rendering was, but I needed work. And so there were episodes where I would sell an image for say $300. When I then started to connect and talk to other artists, I realized that what I was asking for my work was wildly lower in comparison to what my more advanced colleagues were asking. This in turn pushed me to wanting to improve my skills, of course, but also to try and understand what it is that I had to do to also get paid the money that other artists were getting paid. And so one of the reasons why I took a teaching job in the beginning of my career wasn't only because of the fact that I honestly love to teach, it was also motivated by the fact that if I had some money coming in and so I did not have to worry to make ends meet at the end of the month, this could have helped me to try and find work only with clients that liked me enough to be willing to spend more money. And so this is why you often hear me saying things like knowledge is so important and why I make all these videos talking openly about money, because the more people know about what it costs to create artistic work, the more people are aware of the value that each one of us can add to the business of one of our clients, the best it is for all of those creatives, artists and designers who are trying to grow in this field. And so having these conversations can help us realize that what we yesterday thought it would have been a great deal for us, maybe today is not that great. And if we readjust some of the things that we do, we could actually achieve more and in turn make more money. Now, let's talk about the second principle, why it is important to understand that in economy things add up. The biggest mistake I see young entrepreneurs making working in the field of art and design is that they misinterpret the sentence, "You have to start small in order to grow big." which is true when you talk about the volume of the work that you can do or the size of your firm. You know, when you first start out, you're probably on your own, which is okay, but it does not mean that you should be underpaid for the work that you do, because at the end of the day, you're only given 24 hours a day, and if you spend your time being paid less than your competition has the money advantage that you will probably never have, and this means that your competition has the tools to grow and continue expanding whilst you barely have enough money for you to keep yourself with your head above the water. If we were to kind of zoom out and enlarge on the globalized work panorama, you might say, hey Fabio, I'm from a poor country, I do not need much, and so working for a tenth of what people in richer countries can do still allows me to survive and live a decent life. And you know what? I'm happy this way. Look, I respect that, but at the same time, I need to point out that if you charge $100 for a service that other companies can charge $2,000 for, that $100 might get you to the end of the week, depending where you're from, of course. Some other people, it might be enough to get you to the end of the day, but that $100 does not give you the monetary power for you to compete in the global world as a professional. And we're moving in the direction of a more and more globalized world every day. And in this regards, because you do not understand today the value of the work that you are producing, tomorrow you might always position yourself, no matter the industry, at the very bottom of the value chain. And the problem with positioning yourself at the bottom of the value chain is that you will always be replaceable. And so when someone cheaper will come along, you will either have to work for cheaper or you will have to change job, which is ultimately what I do not wish for people to do at all. Anyway, if you do not want to agree with me and the stuff that I just said, at least look up the book from Paul Krugman, Arguing with Zombies, Economics, Politics, and the Fight for a Better Future. It's a Nobel Prize for economics. You might not trust my views on the subject, you might not trust my videos, but you gotta trust someone with the Nobel Prize. At least I hope. Anyway, I hope that you find this video useful. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Fabio Palvelli. See you guys next time.